Hello.
Hello AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Sigmar.
In this video, we're telling you why you're awesome.
And why GW should support you more.
So I mean, as an Underworlds player, it's fair to say I am awesome. But I've noticed that all of you guys out there are awesome too.
Yes.
There is almost no salt in an Underworlds environment.
Enough to season, but not enough to overpower.
Absolutely. No, I just find it, yeah, the tournaments are always lovely. You always meet loads of great people. Forums are the very opposite of toxic. They're inclusive and friendly and sharing and all that kind of stuff. And the game is just brilliant. If you think, you've been in lots of Warhammer groups.
Yeah.
I've been in a few Warhammer groups and lots of collectible card game groups, and those places can be horrendous.
The hate and bile when GW release something, they're like, hey, we've released a new thing, and everyone's like, we hate you and we hate everything you do and you're horrible and you should all die. Well, why isn't it free?
And not even that. It's like somebody says, oh, well, I quite like it, and then that person gets piled on. And I spent some time fairly recently in the Lorcana threads, and they were just hideous to newcomers, hideous to each other. It was just horrible. It actually put me right off the game.
And you're like, this is a card game about Disney, for the love of God.
Exactly.
It's a Disney game.
Yeah, let's let it go. And I haven't found that at all, ever, in 7 years or however long it is now of Underworlds. I don't think I've ever really seen a crossword.
Another thing I've noticed in the tournaments is like you can be on the bottom table or the top table, and whoever's there, they're having a laugh.
Yeah.
It's all fun. Maybe nearer the top, people might be getting a little bit more serious about what's going on, but there's still room for a laugh in there, and there's very rarely ever a crossword spoken. Of
course, we haven't got much tournament experience of other games, but, you know, it just can't be as nice as Underworld's people.
No.
And what also amazes me, particularly when we run our own tournaments and stuff, is how far people will come to play. When we were in Market Harbour, we had people coming down from Manchester and beyond. We had, when we've done them in London, or we've had people who are coming in from Essex, and when we've done ours in Surrey. And we've got a guy coming, I think, from Plymouth for the next one. I mean, Nigel, you are a bit mad. You've been to Market Harbour, but it's just amazing how far people will come. And I think that's partly because there aren't that many tournaments available.
And that makes us think, is GW doing all of you and us a disservice?
When I was organising our first tournament at the Gamers Guild, the owner there she sorted out the OP kit, the organised play kit for me, and she was amazed that it cost money.
Yeah.
Not just money, £60 to get in, because she runs a lot of tournaments in, I mean, she does Lorcana, funny enough, but she also does Pokemon and Magic and all sorts of things. And I think, I don't 100% know, but I think they basically just give her stuff to give away as prizes and promo stuff to get people into the shops to play games. Whereas GW, no, you've got to pay £60. And considering that Underworld is much smaller than all those games I've just mentioned, that just seems madness to me.
Especially for what you get in it. I mean, yeah, you get the trophy, but I've seen those trophies online. You can buy them for about $5.99. You get some alt-art cards. You get a few boxes and a few Perspex tokens, but 60 quid's a lot.
Yeah,
for that.
and I just feel like if you're, say, like a small independent game store like the Gamers Guild where we play, and you don't have anybody, you don't have an amazing Robin and Pete come and run a tournament for you, you're just going to think, well, I don't want to spend £60 on that, because I'll literally get maybe 10 people in, and it's not going to pay for itself. So I don't really understand. I don't really understand why the kit costs that much in the first place, but I really don't understand why they don't do cheaper kits with some free cards, maybe a few acrylic tokens, and perhaps not a piece of glass trophy. You don't necessarily need a piece of glassware to take home with you, but some sort of card for winning and just a card for entering, really. Even their own stores could run little 8-player tournaments, and you all get a card or a fighter card or something for free, and you just for turning up and playing, and it doesn't cost the shop anything. I think would be a really much better way of bringing people into the game.
I do think that even though their stores generally have a skeleton staff, probably all Nagash followers, that they could put a bit more effort into running local events, and that could then build into more regional events and more national events. And if GW really put themselves behind the game and really put some effort into it, they could make a much bigger deal out of Underworlds than it currently is, I think.
Definitely, because it's got a really loyal fan base, and I reckon it's the sort of thing that, because it's such a nice fan base, it would start to draw more and more people in if they just put a bit of effort behind it. And I've become even more convinced of this. This last weekend just gone, I went with my son to Liverpool for a Pokemon tournament, and it was massive. There were like a couple of thousand Pokemon players there. He's in the teenage section, so there were slightly less of those than there were in the sort of 18 plus section. It was a little bit more expensive than the Grand Clash. I think it was £40 for his ticket, and he told me that the adult one is actually £60. But you get, just for turning up, and they could say it's free, but it's not really free because you paid £60 for it. But he got a bag with a promo card and a water bottle and a play mat that was all just, all just for playing, just for coming and turning up and playing. You all got that, and then the prizes for his section went right down to the top 64. And he didn't just get like some acrylic tokens or an alternative R card. He got a booster box, or half a booster box for finishing top 64, which was worth a lot more than the £40 that we paid to him, certainly. And I mean, you couldn't really have necessarily equivalent prize for Underworld, but you could do some pretty cool stuff.
It'd be trickier. You could at least do some kind of vouchers or something to be able to buy stuff from GW. I mean, obviously you can't give away a copy of the game because you had a copy of the game to be able to play. But
neoprene mats, that's what they could do.
Neoprene mats, now not like the ones that they released before that they decided to pack by folding them.
No.
Not such a good
but
idea.
as your boards, I mean.
Limited
neoprene boards, that would be
very
cool.
nice.
I guess you'd only have one, which would be a bit strange, but I think that'd be really cool.
You'd use it every single time. Is this the best mat? Don't care.
So the top 64 prize was really good, and in his age category, the top 8, even in his age category, they got cash prizes. So if you were
hard cash,
5th to 8, you got £750.
Now, granted, it was a much bigger event, hundreds of people, but you scale that down, you can still do something with that money. I mean, if we had charged £40 for each of the people coming to our next tournament, there would be over £1,000 we'd have straight there. If we were to say to you out there, first prize is 800 quid. How many people would turn up? How many people? A lot of people. So
GW could totally run. I mean, they could easily run a tournament of that size for Underworld. I mean, the only thing is, I guess they got a lot more games in. So when you start looking at that number of people, you need to stretch out the number of days. That's a potential problem with Underworld, because he played 8 games across the day, 8 best of 3s.
You could get in 6 games in a day, and I think the next clash that GW are doing in April is a 6-game day.
Okay.
So you could fit in 6 games quite easily, and if you had the chance of getting £800, you can do it.
I mean,
the chance of £800, I'd go.
It did then cut to a second day for the top 8. The top 8 had to play off for a second day. The winner got a free ticket to their World Championship, which is in Hawaii.
Boom.
But I mean, the winner at the Grand Clash will probably get one of those too. GW but they're not quite as big as Pokemon, but they're a massive company. And Underworld, I know they don't really bandy about it being the ultimate competitive game anymore, but I just felt it's got a really loyal fan base, and I just think they could build on that so easily with a bit of care and thought about the way they gave out prizes for the game and supported people who wanted to run tournaments.
It's also one of the games that they could find easier to expand because it's much cheaper to get into. If you were to tell a load of people, you buy a box for 60 quid, something like that, you buy maybe a warband and a thing, you're paying less than £100, and then you might be in a position where you can then start going to tournaments. I think you're then going to find that a lot of players of like AOS 40k and other versions of the games that they play are going to go, you know what, I'm going to get that and have a stab at this game as well because cash prizes. And I know a lot of people out there watching this are going to think, but if they did that for 40k, they'd get even more people. Maybe they would, but
they need an awful lot more space.
Yeah, exactly.
40k.
Yeah.
And the other, I mean, there is an argument to say they should be supporting those people better as well. Their support just seems a bit. I mean, I just got no real idea, but their support just seems a bit naff. I guess there is a potential problem that there's not much riding on games at the moment, so the community is very friendly. If you start to add cash incentives, then I'm guessing you're going to get people playing a lot more competitively, a lot more ruthlessly. So it might upset the beautiful microcosm that we have, and I wouldn't want that. But I do feel, as a minimum, their organised play kit at £60 a pop is just too expensive. If you want to build this game and you want to make people interested in going to tournaments and you want to make people run tournaments, then you need to have something that's much cheaper, or ideally, I would say free.
Bare minimum.
To get people to come and
be free.
To come and play the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take the trophy out, and then it pretty much cost you nothing to make.
Yeah, just some cards.
And then I'm not sure the trophy doesn't cost much either, but just literally, people might say, "Oh, I really want the trophy," but Do you really?
I mean, even keeping the trophy in, they don't even need to put it in like the box that it comes in. It's like all this nicely artworked box. Like it could just be a cardboard box. That's fine. No one cares about the box it comes in. Yeah. It's all about the stuff inside it. So yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you think Pete and I are talking out of our bottoms? Quite often we are. But do you think that GW is a bit of a cheat that they charge £60 for you to have an organised play kit? Let us know what you think. What would you like to see in your organised play kit? Maybe some snazzy keychains.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cuddly toy.
Definitely the neoprene mats. Definitely a neoprene mat.
That'd be cool.
And what I'd love to know is people out there, if you knew there was a cash prize on a tournament, would you go further afield? Would you pay more to enter it if you knew there was cold hard cash on the line?
Yeah. Or would it just turn you into a ruthless, backstabbing, cheating, horrible, rude commenter in the forums? Let us know politely in the comments below.
And don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications of more of our content in the future.
And if you would like to see cash prizes at tournaments run by Pete and Robin, do consider supporting us on Patreon, because that's the sort of thing where we put the money. We actually technically made a loss on our last tournament, and we used some of our Patreon money to support it. And if we could start giving out cash prizes if you lot support us.
So we'll see you soon in the underworlds.
Bye.